Zitandwa. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's Sister Love back on your screens for episode 2 of A Road to Health, Sister Love. Today we're going to be discussing nutrition. You will find this information from page 4 in your Road to Health booklet. Nutrition is a very, very important aspect, and it actually makes up the bulk of the book because with good nutrition, we can ensure that the child grows well, that they'll most likely do well at school, and so on and so forth. Um, I'd like to just also begin with a disclaimer and say that breastfeeding is the best for the baby. However, do not feel as if you're letting your baby down if you are unable to breastfeed. Don't get me wrong, it is the best, but there are circumstances in which you are just unable to breastfeed your baby. And I believe last week when I spoke about when I introduced the Road to Health booklet, we spoke about danger signs, and one of them was that if you are unable to breastfeed your baby, you need to take the baby to the nearest facility, and that's where from birth to 6 months, we are exclusively breastfeeding or formula feeding if for whatever reason you cannot breastfeed. This is very important. We want to give the child a good chance at this life thing. So breast milk has been deemed the golden standard, and so where we are able to, we encourage and we strongly encourage that you breastfeed your child exclusively for the first 6 months. Your breast milk contains every single thing that that child needs for that time period. If you are a working mother, as a working parent, as a lot of people are, you may express your breast milk and store it in the fridge or the deep freeze. It can remain in those two areas for a very long time. So you would want to ensure that you are exclusively breastfeeding even when you're not the one taking care of your child. It is important to thaw it correctly as well, so that we're not losing the nutrients during that process. So for the first 6 months, from the time your child gets out of your womb, if everything is okay, we put baby on your breast. In fact, when I was still a student, I don't know if things have changed much since then, which was in 2014. 2014 was when we started doing the midwifery rotation. What we would do is, as soon as we delivered the baby, even before we delivered the placenta, we would place baby on mom's tummy, abdomen, and then she would then immediately breastfeed. This is provided that everything is okay. So within the first hour, your baby must get breast milk, must be fed. When we're saying exclusive breastfeeding, we are talking about no gripe water, no sugar water, no traditional medication, except for the breast milk or formula milk if that's what you are going to be using, and only medication that is prescribed by a doctor are you allowed to give. So please, that's very, very important. So from 6 months, so you introduce your child to feeds at 6 months, to solids at 6 months. So from 6 months to about 2 years, it is recommended that you breastfeed your child up until they are 2, if you are able to. So throughout the whole time you are breastfeeding, but you will then be introducing solids slowly but surely. And the suggestion is that you do so one food group at a time. So according to the dietitians at my hospital, what they suggest is that you add soft porridge at 6 months. So the soft porridge examples are millie meal porridge, mabela porridge, cream of maize, rice cereals, iron fortified porridge, for example, Nestum and Cerelac. You give soft foods 2 times a day before breastfeeding. So just to recap, at 6 months, we are introducing porridge, soft porridge. So at 6 months, we are introducing soft porridge. So it's actually introducing starches. At 6.5 months, so now your child is 6 months and 2 weeks, we are introducing vegetables. So we've already introduced the soft porridge. So you'll continue to give the soft porridge and then also add vegetables. The examples of vegetables that you can introduce at this point are your pumpkin, your carrots, beetroot, spinach, and you give 1 serving of these. So we have 2 servings of the soft porridge and 1 serving of the vegetables. So then we're giving soft foods 3 times a day before breastfeeding. So at 6.5, we are adding 1 serving of veggies. We are adding 1 serving of veggies. And then at 7 months, we've got 2 servings. We said 2 times servings, right? At 6 months. And we said 1 serving of veggies, right? And then we're adding times 1 serving of fruit. So the example of fruits, it's your apple, your pear, your banana, your orange, your pawpaw, and then we remove the skin and pips from the fruit. We cut it into small pieces, cook until soft, and mash with a fork. You give these 4 times a day before breastfeeding. So each time we are increasing. So at 6 months, we were giving the baby solids twice a day. At 6.5 months, we're giving them solids 3 times a day. At 7 months, we're giving them solids 4 times a day. So that by 7.5 to 12 months, we are adding the last component to our meal, which is protein. So protein is chicken, meat, beans, chicken liver, mopani worms, basically anything that you are eating as a family. If you are a family that eats a lot of like whatever you traditionally eat, you introduce to the child. So we said at 6 months we are having 2 servings of soft porridge. 6.5 months plus 1 serving, we adding 1 serving of veggies. At 7 months we adding 1 serving of fruit, and then 6.5 months we're feeding 3 times a day. 7 months we're feeding 4 times a day. 7.5 to 12 months we're feeding 4 times a day, and we've added a protein, and it's 1 serving of protein, right? And yeah, so it says here for the soft porridge 1 to 2 servings, vegetables 1 to 2 servings, fruit 1 serving, protein 1 serving, and we're giving soft foods 5 times a day before breastfeeding. And then it asks us to remember the following: that we're giving 1 new food at a time so that the baby can get used to the food. Avoid adding salt, sugar, or pepper to the food. Your baby is allowed to drink a clean glass of water from 6 months old. So you can start introducing water to your child from 6 months. They can drink, but do not give them tea, juice, or cold drinks. And then at 1 year, we have a beautiful chart which I will add to the video. And it says here that you feed your child from all three food groups. You feed your child 5 meals a day. You continue to breastfeed until baby is 2 years old, or give them formula milk until that time. Your child should eat normal food like the rest of the family. The food can still be cut, but it should not be mashed. The child must learn to chew. And also, you give them food that they can hold, that's easy to hold for them to start learning how to actually feed themselves. And this ends our episode 2 of A Road to Health with Sister Love. Comment down below your experiences of breastfeeding. How did you find breastfeeding? Were you able to breastfeed your child exclusively for 6 months? What were some of the challenges that you encountered? Also comment below how you introduced solids to your child. How are they handling the introduction of solids? What are their favorite foods? What are the foods that they will not touch? And how are you dealing or handling any picky eaters? Like always, please subscribe, like, comment, and share this information with any and everyone. And from me, Sister Love, to you lovers, I will see you next time. Have a happy, happy Wellness Wednesday. Bye.